Hi, this is Les Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Ohio sports. A lot of Browns fans claim to be upset today when unofficially the word got out that the New England Patriots would be hosting Pittsburgh in the first Sunday night game instead of the Browns. It appears that the Browns are going to be playing New England in Week 8 in a late afternoon matchup. Don't be upset. Why put so much pressure on the Browns team, especially with a new head coach in his first NFL game? By Week 8, the Browns are going to know who they are. But that's not the big story of the day. The big story is that the NFL can turn a schedule reveal into a national story, as if the combine and the draft isn't enough. The D-Man, Dennis Manoloff, is here. More sports, and Les Levine is on the air. From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les Levine, it's a Wednesday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Les Levine into its 23rd consecutive year, and as always, seen exclusively on cleveland.com. The D-Man, Dennis Manoloff from WTAM is here. D-Man, how are you?
I'm great.
It's a national holiday today.
I mean, we're staying by the phone, breaking news every hour on the hour, the slow drip that is NFL schedule release for tonight. Who would have ever thought as recently as, 5 years ago that this would be an event?
Do you like the way they do it, or would you like them to just hand you a piece of paper and say, this is it?
I have no problem at all with this. I used to wonder, why would essentially a 5-month season, 4 regular season months, and then the 5th month being the postseason, why would a 5-month season be turn itself into 12 months, or how would it be able to do it? And now I'm just like, that's fine, because I love the NFL, and they're masters at creating events out of seemingly nothing. Rookie mini camps,
OTAs.
Draft, OTAs, interviews, and now we have schedule release. And
you forgot the combine.
The combine, and then all the run-up. I mean, that's how it's supposed to be done. That's why the NFL, part of the reason why the NFL is so popular. They're masters at creating a 12-month season.
Before we get into this, and we'll talk about it most of the night tonight.
Yes.
Let's talk baseball for a bit, because the Indians have won 2 in a row out in Seattle. And the good news is Francisco Lindor might be coming back Friday. The Indians coming back to take on St. Louis, Atlanta in interleague play. And it could be Francisco Lindor in that starting lineup. He's been down at Columbus, where he's got 2 hits and 8 at-bats, 1 home run, and 1 RBI. Now, I did see him hit the home run and saw him limp a little bit running around the bases, but I'm sure he was wearing an air cast, and I'm sure that's what the reason is.
I was just going to say, great news that Lindor would be potentially in the lineup by Friday. I can't believe the Indians would rush this.
No.
And they would have to ask Lindor 100 times, are you good to go? And then once he says I'm good to go, slam the brakes on him for another couple of days.
Okay, and that being said, would you also tell him it's okay if you only go 85% running the bases?
I'd be worried, because the minute you do that is the minute you get injured. When you start to back off, especially a guy like Lindor, who plays at such a high rate of speed and energy. But listen, you saw the bad happenings in Kansas City. They get swept, and you're like, the ebbs and flows of a season. It's a long season. They go to Seattle, a team that had just been swept by Houston, but was off to a red-hot start until that point.
Right, now they've lost 5 in a row now.
Yeah, so the Mariners are still a dangerous team, and the Indians take the first 2.
Well, how about this? The lineup that the Indians had just 3 or 4 games ago, and they get one guy, they send him out, and he's complaining about the Indians front office. And then you still have Max Maroff, and you still have some guys who don't really belong in the major league. Stamets they got rid of. But now at least the lineup, we'll forecast it here against a right-handed pitcher. It looks presentable. It looks like, maybe some of these guys, veteran guys, don't have the bat that they had before. But that's now a little bit of an imposing lineup.
Yeah, all of a sudden it looks better. I mean, you have Cargo in there. You have Lindor back. Tyler Naquin in the 8th spot
where he
isn't so bad, okay, as opposed to the 3 spot.
Yeah, opening day he's in the 3 spot.
You know, it's possible that the way Leonys Martin is swinging the bat, Francona says, I'm going to keep him at the leadoff spot and have Lindor batting second. That's possible, but this is probably the long-term order here.
Or you might move Jose Ramirez down until his bat comes around, although it looked like it's come around, hit a home run the other night. And
some encouraging signs in Seattle. Admittedly, only 2 games, but encouraging swings from Jose.
216-575-0403. You can email us during the show at reallesslevine@gmail.com. You can do that, and we will read them on there. Don't make it War and Peace. Try to keep it as concise as you can do. The more you can do, the better it'll be. So we're looking at a lineup, not tonight, because they're still out in Seattle, but they come home. And if they announce that Lindor's in the lineup, that'll sell some tickets too.
You would think, yes, and especially, I mean, it's early, but if they win tonight against the Mariners and sweep that series, that'll have a little momentum there. And plus, it's a weekend date. It's a team that you haven't seen, the Braves, who, oh, by the way, are defending NL East champs.
Good young team.
So, yeah, a terrific young team. So, I can't wait for that weekend series.
Going back to the Indians, the pitching concern, what concerns do you have on Kluber and Carrasco?
Yeah, we speak ahead of Carrasco's scheduled start. Who knows? I haven't seen a lot of life to the pitches of either guy. And, the velo is one thing, but the finish on the pitches just isn't there yet.
Especially Kluber.
Right. I'm not going to count either one of those guys out. They're proven horses. I think they'll be fine, but as of right now, I'm not seeing a lot of finish to those pitches.
All right. When we come back, we'll find out. We'll talk about the hype surrounding the schedule release, which took place today. We'll take a look at what we think we know.
We're piecing it together. Like a jigsaw puzzle.
We have sleuths out there all over the country trying to do that. You don't want to be the guy who puts your name on it and gets it wrong. You don't want to be that guy.
Well, but we've already had that, though, because last week there were the rumors, and some people had the Browns opening at the Jets in week 1.
Right.
In part because of the cryptic tweet by Odell. So we weren't. But now it's much more credible sources are coming out, and rightly so, and understandably so, because the date of the release is tonight.
All right, we'll talk about the hype surrounding that. We'll take your phone calls, 216-575-0403. Bear with me, got a little problem, which we're dealing with. We'll take a break. We'll come on back. More Sports and Les Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/More Sports and Les Levine, with new content posted each and every day. D-Man and I return in a moment, exclusively on cleveland.com.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program has been recognizing role model students and teachers since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Supporting Education. There, you can nominate students in kindergarten through 12th grade as academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible for the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Wednesday, the 17th of April, and birthdays for today. Lamar Lundy, one of the fearsome foursome, right, of the Rams matchup. We'll check out the NFL matchups a little bit later. 1947. Jeff Petrie, born in 1948. Boomer Esiason, seen on the left. Marquise Grissom, former Indian, and former Indian Ryan Rayburn, all born on the 17th of April. The D-man, Dennis Manoloff, is with us. You'll be on WTAM tomorrow night, right? The Indians have an off day.
Yes, I've got the 8 to 11 show, so it should be fun.
The D-man show.
Well,
it's a little early for that.
I'm subbing. Yes.
Oh, you're subbing. All right. All right. So we talked about the hype of the 2019 schedule.
Yes.
One of our colleagues says, just give it to us in completion. And you say, no, that's how you stretch out 12 months.
Why not? I mean, this is what social media is made for, these kind of things.
Here's what we think we know. Week 1, Browns versus the Titans at home. And that should be interesting. They open up, and Mike Vrabel, the coach of Tennessee. Tennessee, of course, the home of Jimmy Haslam. A lot of side stories going on that one. Week 2 at the Jets on Monday Night Football. How about that?
That's virtually guaranteed. I mean,
virtually guaranteed.
Percentage, likelihood it's 99 and 44 100ths.
This is like the election night we're projecting.
Yeah.
Week 3, the Rams will be here in Cleveland, and that's Sunday
night football with Michaels and Collinsworth.
Unbelievable.
And then we have the two others, the Patriots in Week 8.
Patriots Week 8, not Week 1.
And then Week 10 was the Bills
Buffalo
or the Dolphins?
Bills. Buffalo Bills. And I think the Dolphins are on 12, but we'll check on that a little bit later. I heard some people on radio today saying, what's the big deal? Why even follow it? I think it's a big deal because it shapes your season and whether you have a chance for the playoffs. For example, I know, and the argument is, well, you got to play them sometime, so it doesn't matter. No, it does matter. I don't want Freddie Kitchens' team playing New England in Game 1.
Yeah, I hear you, Les. And you got to win no matter what, no matter who you play, no matter where you play. But it's important with this franchise for a number of reasons, including primetime appearances. You could list that right up there because our friend Jacob Rosen has done the research. I'm looking at his tweet. Fewest Sunday night, Monday night games since '99, and this includes home and road. Yeah. Browns #1 in fewest with 13.
I would have never guessed. I know it's 20 years, 20 seasons. I wouldn't have thought they even had that many.
Bills second fewest with 18. Wow. Most, Cowboys 75. Packers 68.
Wow.
So the Browns being on national TV is a big deal.
Especially early in the season.
And now, yeah, you're looking at back-to-back weeks 2 and 3 at the Jets, just because of the market, because of Odell, and then the week 3 because, by the way, it's the Rams, the gold standard in the NFC.
Absolutely.
So
you can win 2 out of 3 in that, you'll be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, it's exciting. And by the way, I love the fact that Browns fans on Twitter are running some smack, perhaps, at the Titans. Underwhelming season opener, as if the Browns have any right to say that.
Right.
But that's okay. Why not say that if you're a Browns fan?
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Tim. Tim is in Findlay, Ohio. Hello, Tim.
Hey, fellas. It's truly an honor to be on the air with you again.
What's up, Tim?
I really enjoy it. Before I forget this, and this is more important than anything else that I've got to say today, Dennis, I want you to know that you and Bud Shaw are my 2 absolute, no second place, even close, guests that Les has had on his show over the years. And I'd like to propose an idea that I've been thinking about here over the last couple of weeks, and that is this. I would like to propose that you might go to Bud Shaw and say, hey, why don't the 2 of us get together and do the same kind of a show that Les is doing, but it's called The D-Man and Bud Shaw and an hour of sports.
Hey, Tim.
What's that sound like?
Do you think that's like if somebody said to me, Les, I know you could do good play-by-play. Why don't you just go up and do Monday Night Football? No, you don't get to. That's not the way it works.
And I would only work with Les Levine, so that's a non-starter, Tim. But what do you got for us sports-wise?
Well, I just wanted to tell Les that I totally agree with him. Why the city of Cleveland is all up in a bunker about the the New England thing, to me, that's idiocy to put the Browns on the same field with a team like that. When, like you say, Les, first-year coach, this is the first year they've been together as a team. It's total crazy.
Well, not only
it's
that,
all hype.
They want the Browns to do
a chance to show what they have and go from there.
The NFL wants the Browns to look good, and putting them against New England in Game 1 would not make them look good.
No, it would not. Well, they might get lucky. They might get lucky and win a game. They might, but luck is not the name of the game. It's playing football and not making mistakes, and that's what you want to do. So
they'll be ready to play them in Week 8.
One question I'd like to ask the D-Man: are you planning on coming back to Les's show in the future, or what's the deal on that?
I hope to be a regular guest with Les as long as he'll have me.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel exceptionally good. So, like I said, I am, like Les says, I'm your self-proclaimed biggest fan of all time, and I want you to know that. You got the perfect demeanor for this type of business, and I really enjoy listening to you. And anyhow, I'm going to get the heck off this thing so other people can have a chance at you.
All right, Tim, thank you very much. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. We haven't mentioned Super Bowl yet. But we're going to mention it now because
by the end of the schedule, when everybody's played the schedule game, the Browns will be in the Super Bowl.
Right now we're doing it. We're going to take a look at what Las Vegas thinks of the Super Bowl odds for the teams at the top of the NFL. How about this? This is VegasInsiders.com. New England first at 6-1, tied for second. Kansas City and the Rams at 8-1. New Orleans next at 11-1, and the Browns number 5. I can't believe I'm saying stuff like this. This is astonishing.
I mean, let's just step back and go into the Wayback Machine.
Well, 2 years.
2017, the Browns were 0-16. And you're telling me, Brian's telling us, they are number 5 at 15-1.
And you know what? The Browns fans, if they don't make it and don't win it, they're going to be upset, which is good. But I can't believe that so much goes into it. I know we're improved, or the Browns are improved.
Gosh. This is the best 7-8-1 team in the history of man.
Maybe.
And by the way, I'm not complaining. The rest of the division's got to find this kind of amusing. You know, the Steelers and the Ravens are kind of like, oh, really?
No. I think Harbaugh was right. When you take a look at the talent on everybody in that in the Central Division, or the North rather, AFC North. How do you not say Cleveland's number 1?
Right, but they haven't proven anything. All right, the Steelers at Roethlisberger are saying, you guys haven't done anything against me yet to speak of, except a tie. The Ravens are the defending division champs, and they have Lamar Jackson, and they have faith in him. That's what I'm talking about. But here's the thing. I heard some people say, oh, there's so much pressure on the Browns this year to win games. Wait a minute. What happens if they don't win? Is Freddie Kitchens going to get fired?
No.
No. Is Baker Mayfield going to get shipped out of town?
Nope.
No. Is Beckham going to be traded? Presumably not, unless something crazy happens. I mean, this idea that, if the Browns don't win in 2019, all hell's going to break loose.
There's set to
going to be
compete.
Disappointment, but it's not like this pressure is so bad that all these people are going to lose their jobs.
Right. And
is Dorsey going to still be the GM?
Of course he is. Of course he is.
And
what they're doing is setting themselves up to be a factor for several years down the road.
Yeah, and again, I want to see the Browns win as many games as possible. I'm simply saying the world won't end if it doesn't work out in 2019 and they get beat by good teams such as the Rams. The Titans are not a terrible team by any stretch to open up. I mean, you've got your division teams, you've got Belichick. So if it doesn't go well, it's not the end of the world.
Well, when we come back, we've got a Facebook question of the day that I think you'll be interested in. We'll check on some of the responses, and we'll see how you feel about it. When we get back here, more sports and Les Levine continues in a moment with the D-Man, Dennis Manoloff. Northfield Park is your home for live and simulcast racing. Catch the excitement of live harness racing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Post time is 6 p.m., open early every day for simulcast action, and it'll be your last chance to get involved in the Kentucky Derby contest. This Saturday, you'll be able to scout out the Kentucky Derby contenders for a chance to win cash prizes. Free admission, free parking every day. That's at Northfield Park. D-Man and I return in a moment. More sports and Les Levine. Seen exclusively on cleveland.com.
When my dad started Nature Stone right here in Northeast Ohio, he created a solution for age-old concrete problems. Unevenness, cracking, pitting, and more. Nature Stone solves all of these problems in garages, basements, and outdoor spaces. Nature Stone is beautiful, environmentally friendly, and always affordable. Plus, Nature Stone is backed by Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty.
Get Nature Stone installed in your home by the end of April and get up to half off. Schedule your free in-home estimate easily online today.
It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget, Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
A new contributor to How Come Quickies tonight, the D-Man comes up, must have been stuck in a traffic jam. This is a good one. How come you can jump to conclusions when you're sitting down? All right.
I felt so good to contribute. Technically, though, there is a redundancy in there sitting down.
That's okay.
But we'll
that's the essence of a How Come Quickie. And the concern usually with me is I come up with them while I'm at a traffic light, and then I pull away and I go back to write, and I totally forgot it. It's the tragedies of doing How Come Quickies. 216-575-0403. We asked you a question on Facebook, and the question is, if you could pick one primetime game for the Browns, which one would you want them to play? How about you? You got a thought?
Steelers. I
Steelers,
think that's
Cleveland,
the litmus
Steelers
test.
at Cleveland.
Because remember, the worst game Baker Mayfield played last year was at Pittsburgh.
That is true.
Admittedly under Jackson and Haley, but it was still bad.
Andy Meese says Patriots, the current dynasty, hopefully, and the up-and-coming one, would make for great primetime TV. Rick May says, how about a Sunday night game, Steelers at Cleveland? Hopefully we will see a changing of the guard in the AFC North. Tom Ferris, I picked the Steelers so the whole country can see us whip up on the Steelers. Greg Burns says Steelers in Cleveland. Dennis Davis, Pittsburgh, beating them in front of a national audience would be very satisfying. Eric Huber, at home, the Patriots. Wayne Richard, Lions, Pittsburgh right at home with the terrible towels, leaving the stadium as limp as their team will be after a good beatdown. Doesn't get any better than that.
Now, granted, the talent wasn't there, but in '99, remember the hype for the first game, and the Steelers come in and go, what was it, 43-0?
Tim Couch has to be taken off the bench and play in the second half. All right, here are the opponents for the season. In all the inside information we had, we never really touched on division games, but here's who they'd play at home. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Cincinnati, of course, division foes. Buffalo, the Rams, Miami, Seattle, and Tennessee. Then you got away games, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Cincinnati, along with Arizona, Denver, New England, New York Jets, and San Francisco. I'll tell you what, D-Man, I don't know how it's going to shake. No, it's not easy, but the away games are not terribly hard. I mean, they'll be underdogs in most of them, but it doesn't look like an imposing schedule on the away teams.
Yeah, I mean, I still think there's a lot of teeth to that. I think there's going to be difficult games, and that's what you want, though. You want to see what the Browns are. You want to see how they measure up against quality competition. So.
You know what I like? It's not 15 games at 1 o'clock Eastern time.
Right.
I mean, they're all over the place between the
and the
Monday
Belichick
night,
game's
Sunday
at
nights.
4, right?
Belichick game is at 4. I thought 4:25, but it won't be at 1. So that'll be good. Everybody has to. I wonder how many times Bill has come back here since he left as coach.
That's a great point.
Got to be a couple, right?
You know, here's the thing. I cannot wait now to see what the stadium looks like in week 3. for a Sunday night game against the Rams.
As bad as that stadium is.
And let's hope the Browns are at least 1-1 going
sure,
in.
They better be.
If they're 0-2 going in, then you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But at least 1-1 going into that Sunday night game against the Rams, who were in the Super Bowl the last time we checked, against the Belichick, that place is going to be lit. I mean, it should be wild. And that's great. That's what the Browns, we want to see from the Browns, is entertainment.
Tailgating could start at about dawn, right?
3 days early.
We'll just make it a national holiday. Let's go to Mike standing by in Rocky River, Ohio. Hello, Mike.
Hi, Les. You know, I just wanted to tell you, I really enjoy you and Dennis. And did you ever think about starting a TV show with the two of you and, you know, doing something different, maybe talking about the weather or something?
We need some help. I don't think we heard the whole thing.
Struggling with that, Mike. Can't quite hear what you're saying.
Mike, speak up.
I follow up with the other guys coming because my head's still spinning from that one. But anyways, I want to talk about the Browns again. No, I know they won't make wholesale changes, but say the Browns are 9-7. What do you think the reaction of the fans will be, and what do you think the reaction of Haslam will be?
If what?
If the Browns end up 9-7, say 8-8.
It depends on how they get there, Mike. And I'm not trying to be dismissive of the question. I'm being genuine. If you get there via 5 straight losses to end the season, then 8-8 or 9-7 is going to be a colossal disappointment. Yeah. If you get there by stumbling early and then catching fire late, it'll blunt a lot of the disappointment. But presumably neither record's going to get you in the playoffs.
No, well, here's the other thing. 2 years ago, they were 0-16. To think that 3 years later they can be in the Super Bowl is kind of crazy. So if they disappoint, let's say they're 8-8 or 9-8 and don't make 9-7 and don't make the playoffs, that's the fans' fault for being too overzealous about it.
Well, sure, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with fans having a lot of expectations, and let's say they're not met. Everywhere you go in the NFL, fan bases are excited. Titans fan bases are excited. Sure. They're saying, "Oh, we're going to go into Cleveland and whoop up on Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham." So that's fine. That's how it should be.
We're finally in the position where somebody has to worry about who they're playing. In the past, it was, we go into Cleveland, beat them, let's go home.
Yeah. What would we say, though, just two other points. One, clearly Kitchens is probably the biggest question mark just because of him being a new coach, and how it'll be. And I will also throw this out there, and I'd be curious to see both your reactions. I think with the Browns, it's either going to be boom or bust. And what I mean is either they are going to be fantastic, they win 11, 12 games, or this could implode, and they may end up.
All right, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
I'll tell you what, if they have 11 or 12 wins, nobody's going to be upset.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, this place will be going crazy, this city. But regarding Kitchens, Monken is so well regarded as an offensive mind, and we know Kitchens got the job largely because of his offensive acumen and his play calling.
But he didn't even know Monken.
Right, but I wonder though if Kitchens will, as the head coach now that he takes on head coach, if he gains the trust, or Monken gains the trust of Kitchens, to where Kitchens is going to be like, in order for me to be an effective head coach, I can't be calling the plays. I'm going to allow Monken to call them. I will collaborate with the game plan, and then I will trust Monken.
Right. Hopefully that happens.
I mean,
hopefully he doesn't have to be forced into making that move, and he'll understand it himself.
I just think in today's game, Les, it moves so fast, and there's so much that you have to know as a head coach on game day, that to call your own plays, especially a rookie like Kitchens is, and given that you have a guy as accomplished as Monken there at your disposal, I wonder if it's not going to go that way
I hope
at some
it does.
point.
I know every coach wants to be in total control like that, but that in this modern day you can't do that. You need the head coach to worry about if a guy gets injured and then he gets the okay from the training staff that he can go back in. If you're near midfield and you have to decide if you're going to go for it on fourth down, or kick a field goal or punt or whatever you're going to do. I need my head coach to be able to be in the best position to make those calls.
Yeah, and what about all the timeouts that you have to worry about, the challenges that you have to worry about? There's so much out on a rookie, especially a rookie coach's plate.
One of the things the Browns are concerned about, or at least John Dorsey is, that's the Browns' defensive secondary. We'll take a look at that. Also, you can email us 24 hours a day. We've got a special email phone number, 216-200-6650. It's the voicemail of Truth and Reason. More sports and less. Levine continues in a moment with the D-Man, Dennis Manoloff, right here exclusively on cleveland.com.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family cool this summer,
let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at 440-449-HEAT.
Hi, it's Les Levine for our friends at Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Time to get that air conditioner checked, right? I had mine done. If it's time for a new air conditioner, you can't beat the good guys at Smiley One. They're a great offer right now on Bryant cooling systems. Give them a call. Free estimate. Let them show you the different financing options and opportunities you have to fit your budget from my friends at Smiley One. This date in sports history, April 17th, 1999. Quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3 in the NFL drafts. Tim Couch to Cleveland, Donovan McNabb to Philadelphia, and Achilles Smith to Cincinnati. Remember all the hype on that one?
Oh, my gosh. The hype on Achilles Smith's arm was incredible.
All right, you have NBC Sports Bay Area reports this. We're not ready to confirm it, blue or red, but let's hear what D-Man has to say.
I apologize if I mispronounced the name. Matt Mayoko, NBC Sports Bay Area, says Niners will have 3 games in prime time, including one against the Browns. And a reputable source there, a lot of reputable media going with that. So sounds like Browns-Niners will be in prime time.
If that's true, you surprised that the Niners are getting 3 primetime games? Well, of course, everybody gets one from Thursday night.
A little bit. I will say, though, that the Niners were an up-and-comer last year when Garoppolo was healthy.
Right.
And when he goes down, they get dinged. But I think Garoppolo with that roster, they can do some things out west.
Most of us have been concerned with the linebacking core of the Cleveland Browns. A little thin there, but let's also worry a little bit about the secondary. According to Pro Football Focus in the rankings, there you see it. This is the secondaries from last year. And of course it's different. New coordinator for the Browns now. They're ranked 8th as far as the secondary rankings are concerned. The Bears number 1, New England number 2, Los Angeles Chargers 3, Houston 4, followed by Baltimore, the Rams, and Cincinnati. Are you surprised at Bengals being 7th?
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, we tend to forget the Bengals were actually decent before, and they were mediocre to good before their injuries hit, specifically Dalton and Green.
Let's take a look at the cornerbacks, the current roster. Denzel Ward, of course, T.J. Carey, Justin Burris, Lindsey Pipkins. This guy's got to make the team with a name like that, right?
I hear you.
Terrence Mitchell, Philip Gaines, and Taviar Thomas.
Yeah, you've got Money Mitch. There's your safeties.
Here's your safeties: Demarius Randall, Eric Murray, as well as Morgan Burnett, Tiggy Sanko, Jermaine Whitehead.
I'm not worried about the safeties because I trust Dorsey on Burnett and Murray to go with Randall. I am concerned about the corners less. I think you do need to hedge with Denzel Ward. I hate to say it because he's so talented. Of course, he's local, but he's so talented. It's just when you have multiple concussions by his age, I think they have to be ready in case it comes around again.
Let's take a look at some of the options they have as far as the draft is concerned. Here's DeAndre Baker of Georgia, 5'11", 193, 40 tackles, two interceptions, and you see the rest of it there, 116 tackles in his career and 7 interceptions. He was the Jim Thorpe Award winner. That's pretty impressive right there. Also on the potential draftees, I don't think these are top first-rounders, though. Do you?
Not that I've read.
Justin Lane of Michigan State, 72 tackles this year, 130 in his career, second team All-Big Ten. And then we follow it up with Julian Love. And Julian Love from Notre Dame, 5'11", 195, 63 tackles this past year, 176 in his career, first team All-American in 2018.
Yeah, my sense, if I'm going to make a prediction, Les, at this point, I'm sensing that Dorsey is not going to sit still and watch the entire first round go by without him trying to get back in.
And even if he does, you got a full day off before you go to round 2 and 3.
Yes. Now, he knew that he was giving up his first rounder in the Beckham trade, but I still think that he'll get itchy when we get into the 20s and he hasn't made any picks. He's going to want to get back into the.
And he's got a whole bunch of later round picks too that he can play around with.
Sure. I hope, just because I'm a fan of his, I hope Duke Johnson is not part of any picks plus player package that would go on draft day, because I still think Duke is an integral part of what the Browns want to do, especially in the first 8 games when you don't have the possibility of Kareem Hunt. And, oh, by the way, you are playing in prime time. Duke Johnson, to me, is a proven player for this team. Please, John Dorsey, keep him.
And you mentioned injuries. If you don't have Hunt yet, you get an injury to Chubb, you got a big problem.
Yeah, I mean, the NFL is a game of attrition. We all know that. You can never have enough good players at any position except quarterback. You don't want to have 2 great quarterbacks because you're going to have to choose one of them.
It's somebody's team. One of their guys has to be their team.
But other positions, it's always good to have depth. And Duke Johnson is not just depth. He's a guy who makes plays.
Right.
And he's a change of pace back. He's not the same as Chubb. You can use him as a Swiss Army knife. You can line him up in the slot. You can toss sweep him. I mean, you can do a bunch of things with Duke. So I hope that the two sides come to a peace agreement at least, and at least for this year, we get to see Duke as a Brown.
And Duke is signed long term. He is what you call deep depth, and I'd hate to not be able to use that. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Les Levine along with the D-Man, Dennis Manoloff. And tomorrow night, Jeff Shudell from the News Herald will join us. He hasn't been with us in a while. Sokolowski's University, and they've been with us. They've been with us for about 25 years. Cleveland's oldest family-owned and operated restaurant located in Tremont. Take the Abbey Avenue exit outside of the main bridge coming across. That's where you're going to find Mike and Bernie Sokolowski's University Inn. Winner of the James Beard Foundation Award. Only 5 restaurants in the country get that. And to my knowledge, no other restaurant in Cleveland has ever received it. Mike and Sokolowski's University Inn, Cleveland's oldest family-owned and operated restaurant. We'll return in a moment. We'll get to your phone calls. The line just open up if you'd like to get in. More Sports and Les Levine continues exclusively right here on cleveland.com.
The concrete in your garage is uneven, cracked, pitted, and just plain ugly. Transform your garage into a welcoming entryway with Naturestone flooring. Naturestone corrects uneven concrete so you don't have to worry about tripping or slipping. Plus, Naturestone is backed by Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty.
Get Naturestone installed in your home by the end of April and get up to half off. Schedule your free in-home estimate easily online today.
It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Naturestone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just a mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
This date in Les Levine sports history, April 17, 1964. Les had a high school teammate who had his batting average figured out by the time he got to first base. He's a very good math student, apparently. Right?
Yes.
216-575-0403. We can't do this show. We would be remiss if we don't mention one of the great moments in Ohio sports history took place last night when the Columbus Blue Jackets swept Tampa Bay in 4 games. Not just swept them, but beat them up. And 7-4. You don't see 7-4 hockey games in a closeout game, but they did last night. A couple of empty net goals. But congratulations to the Blue Jackets. Of course, so many ties with Cleveland, D-Man, with the Monsters and all kinds of stuff. And even if they don't get any further, this is a phenomenal event for Columbus.
There's no question. I mean, that's the first time the franchise has ever won a playoff series.
Right.
And the fact that it came against the #1 team in the entire league.
The President's Cup winner.
The President's Cup winner, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Lightning was supposed to cruise right through Columbus. Oh, by the way, Game 1 opens, Tampa's up 3-0 before you can even settle down to watch it.
Right.
And it's 3-0 Tampa. The Jackets come back and win that one. They win the next one and then the next 2. And it's just incredible theater. You're watching it last night on Fox Sports Ohio. The noise coming through your television was epic. And I mean, even John Tortorella, one of my favorite coaches in all of sports, coach for the Blue Jackets, he's not one of those guys. He even said, I'm not a touchy-feely guy. I don't get into this. He says, I couldn't believe the noise in this place. It was so loud.
Dom Taveri, who was, people in Central Ohio know him, great sportscaster down in Columbus. He put that on the Mount Rushmore of Columbus
achievements.
Now think about that. With Ohio State winning national championships and 2 Heisman, Archie Griffin getting 2 Heismans, he put that in his top 4 events in the history of Columbus sports.
I mean, why not? And you've got so much excitement now surrounding that franchise. Listen, I'm not a hockey guy. And I try to understand it, but I don't understand the game as well as I'd like. But I definitely follow the Blue Jackets because a lot of my friends follow the Blue Jackets. And there is a distinct Cleveland connection. Those in Cleveland who know that the Monsters are the AAA affiliate, the AHL affiliate of the Blue Jackets, can feel a lot of pride because interviews last night after Game 4, you're one after another Monsters alumni.
Well, you don't have to fully understand the nuances of the game when you get into the Stanley Cup playoffs. You don't have to know any players on the team. You don't have to know the coaches. You don't have to know much at all, except to me, hockey. And I can't name 5 guys on teams in the NHL. It's still at that point it's right up there with the most exciting sporting events ever.
Yeah, and it played the Stanley Cup playoffs played TV perfectly there.
Yep.
It's incredible theater. If you would have told me, or anybody for that matter, that on the same night, last night, the Jackets would sweep the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Penguins would get swept out of the Stanley Cup by the Islanders.
Unbelievable.
In the same night, the Lightning and the Penguins were swept, finished the sweeps. Incredible that those 2 teams were knocked out in a first-round 4-0 fashion. So much props to the Blue Jackets, Tortorella, and the rest of the gang, Atkinson and Jones and all those guys. Can't wait for the next round, which is Toronto or Boston.
Right.
They have a ways to go in their grudge match. I mean, those two teams hate each other, the Maple Leafs and the Bruins. So maybe they're tired out after their series, and the Jackets can pick them apart
it's
too.
It's really one of the great feats. It's almost like big upsets in the NCAA basketball tournament in the first couple of rounds. So congratulations to the Columbus Blue Jackets, and hopefully you've still got a long run in you. You know what? When you start believing, D-Man, it doesn't matter what the rosters look like. Doesn't matter what they've done in previous games in the season. When you get on a run like that, it doesn't matter who you play.
Right, and that's what Tort said. He's like, if I can get my team to believe in itself, and there are cliches everywhere.
Sure.
But they're cliches because they're true. They're actually manifested. When he says, if we can all believe as one, we can go places. If you have individuals trying to do things, you're not going to go places. And it looks to me like the total buy-in from the Blue Jackets. They're getting contributions from everywhere. They are playing as a team. And you mentioned it, Les. Not only did they win, and of course when you see a 4-0 sweep, you say, well, it had to be a dominant. No, not necessarily. Not all 4-0 sweeps are dominant. Remember the Cavs over the Pistons a few years ago? Yeah. They didn't exactly dominate the Pistons, but they won 4 straight. This was a beatdown. I mean, they took the Tampa Bay Lightning apart, except for that first 10 minutes of Game 1. Right. They dominated them from baseline to baseline.
And your point is that because when they play together, hockey is such a game of split seconds. You got to be on the same wavelength at all times, and that's the difference between winning and losing, because they're all great players when they're there at that level. But if you're playing as a team and you're the speed of the game and what you're able to accomplish is just unbelievable. And the sound of a crowd in a game like that is unlike maybe any other sporting event I can think of.
And what was incredible, among many things, at the Nationwide Arena last night, again, watching it through the TV, when the Lightning tied it at 3, the crowd got the loudest. Because they were like, all right, our team needs our support the most.
Some of them might have given up.
And they went crazy then. Yeah. So that shows you how knowledgeable hockey fan is in Columbus and how long they've been waiting for a winner, and a winner that can win in the playoffs. I mean, I don't know what the ceiling is for this team, but as long as Tortorella's coaching them, I'll put them up against anybody.
How about the synergy between Cleveland and Columbus? Not just hockey, but you got the Clippers and the Indians, and that's been a good move for both teams.
The Buckeyes are, I've always said the Buckeyes are Cleveland's adopted 4th professional team, because, you know, they're so popular here. And the Blue Jackets, you finally have a tie-in with Cleveland, because now Cleveland, or has been for several years, the AHL affiliate of the Blue Jackets. Previously, it was the San Jose Sharks and then the Colorado Avalanche.
That never made sense.
So you didn't really have a feel.
Yeah.
But now, once that Syracuse relationship ended between Syracuse and Columbus, you now have what makes sense here. Cleveland funnels to Columbus, and it's fun to watch.
Northfield Park is your home for live and simulcast racing. Catch the excitement of harness racing every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Post time 6 p.m. Open early every day for simulcast action. Road to the Derby contest every Saturday through this week, the 20th. Scout this year's Kentucky Derby contenders for a chance to win cash prizes. Free admission, free parking every day at Northfield Park. Dennis Manoloff, the D-Man, and I return in a moment. More sports and Les Levine is seen exclusively on cleveland.com.
Your basement is damp, dirty, and not somewhere you want to spend time. Let Naturestone Flooring transform your basement into a true extension of your home. Naturestone's proprietary hydrostatic ports allow water to simply evaporate, so no mold or mildew. Plus, Naturestone is backed by Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty.
Get Naturestone installed in your home by the end of April and get up to half off. Schedule your free in-home estimate easily online today.
It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Naturestone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program has been recognizing role model students and teachers since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Supporting Education. There, you can nominate students in kindergarten through 12th grade as academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible for the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Tomorrow night, Jeff Shudell, the versatile writer from the News Herald, will join us. You see us live from 6 until 7. And that, of course, Eastern Time. And then you can archive it all day long. And follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/More Sports and Les Levine, with new content posted each and every day. This from Cleveland Bill. Congratulations to Les for his recent broadcasting award and positive doctor's report. Thank you very much. Congratulations to the D-Man on his new WTAM gig. And thank goodness for the B&B boys, Bauer and Bieber. If Seattle's bases-loaded walks and hit batter as Carrasco and Kluber struggle and Clevenger heals. And if Lindor was hobbling, he shouldn't be playing. Yeah, I'm going to say that was because it was one of those aircasts. Here you go. Cleveland Bill says, how come when the politician gives a dazzling oration, the crowd is left speechless? All right, here the nightly entry from John Patrick, who now grades his own quickies. Hi, Les. Bud gave me a 9 yesterday. That was pretty good, but I'm on a quest for 10. Try these. How come if money doesn't grow on trees, why do banks have branches?
That's outstanding.
It's outstanding.
That's a 9.
Well, oh no, okay,
Can't
a
give
9
you a
for
10,
that one.
but that's a 9.
All right. How come the thief who stole a calendar got 12 months?
What do you think? I mean, it got to laugh.
That gets a 10 for being stupid.
All right. I mean, no.
You got to give it he can't have a 10. Totally.
9.
Give him a 9.
9. Wow.
You got 12 months.
Now, how come quickies? I mean, you created them, and it's just like a cottage industry now. We need to write a book. Marty Gitlin needs to write a book, the How Come Quickie book.
Marty Gitlin, who we're going to be in touch with, who wrote the cereal book, not about serial killers. Yeah. This was he rated every cereal, like 176 boxes of cereal.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. What do you got? Couple minutes. You got anything? I don't have much left.
Indians under. Yeah, you've been incredible. You refuse to go on the injured list. If you go on the injured list, we shut down basically. Indians underway in Seattle. Let's see. Browns, we wait for the schedule release later tonight. Prime time. I'm surprised it's not on NBC.
Right. By the way, you will be able, a little bit later, you'll be able to log on to us on cleveland.com, and it will have everything for you at that point.
Yeah, the Cavs obviously out of the playoffs.
I am not going to get into a situation where I talk about every potential coach.
Agreed.
It's wasted.
Agreed. What I find fascinating, since the last time we talked, Les, the Golden State Warriors blew a 31-point lead and lost to the LA Clippers.
How is that possible?
I don't know, and I was watching it, and I'm thinking they're going to win by 50 at one point. I mean, when they're up 31 in the third quarter, I'm like, they're going to make this so laughable and drill the Clippers so badly that they'll suck all the life out of them.
I turned it off middle of the third quarter.
I mean, I thought the series was going to be 4-0 right then and there because the Clippers knew they had no chance.
Right.
All of a sudden, Lou Williams does what he does, one of my favorite NBA players ever, a scoring machine. Here they come, and they win in Oracle. I don't know how long this series is going to go. I still believe the Warriors will win. But just the fact that they gave up a game and maybe 2 could hurt them in the next round when presumably they'll face a fully loaded Rockets team.
All right, so here's the thing. Clearly they have the best talent. They play the best brand of basketball. But eventually playing every year to 7-game series, 4, 6, or 7-game series, eventually, and for all your key guys, eventually it's got to get to you.
You would think, Les, but I'll tell you what might be the end of it the end of the run, the end of the dynasty, is simply Kevin Durant's not liking anything, okay? He doesn't seem to be enjoying anything. He doesn't hide it, okay? I'm wondering if he's ever going to be happy anywhere, but it certainly seems like there's a lot of smoke, or there's some fire to the smoke that is he's leaving after this year, even if they win again, which would be 4 out of 5 years. Durant has made up his mind, according to some pretty reliable
What are you
sources.
assuming? It'll be him and Kyrie in New York?
Well,
plus maybe, I don't know.
The only one that I've seen multiple reliable sources link Durant to is New York, okay? Now, Irving, who knows what's on Irving's mind? Right. He might retire in the middle of the series that he's playing right now.
How about that report after the Cavaliers?
Boston.
How about the report that after the Cavaliers won the championship, while everybody's celebrating in the locker room, he's sending emails. He's FaceTiming Kobe.
Okay, and that's coming from Brian Windhorst, who would know.
Yeah.
It's weird because on the court was that incredible moment with Doris Burke, where he says the famous line, "Sorry, Doris." And he and LeBron, he's so happy, and all three of them are together, and it was incredible. And then to realize that only a minute or two later, or 5 minutes later, he's sitting there by himself, FaceTiming Kobe. Who knows what goes through Irving's head? But where Durant is concerned, even if they win again, I think he's so restless and so tired of it, specifically tired of Draymond Green, that he leaves anyway. I think there's a lot of credibility to that hypothesis.
How about his quote a week or two ago that he just wants to play basketball, doesn't want the
Kyrie or
extraneous.
Durant?
Well, both of them basically said the same thing. That I don't think they have any grasp as to how they get their money. Their money comes from the entertainment part of it. The fact that fans love them and pay extraordinary amounts of money to watch them play. I'd like to just go play basketball too, but nobody's going to pay me $200 million to do that.
Yeah, and it's hard to imagine Irving and Durant on the same team because you have two similarly downtrodden guys, or guys who are always angry about something, getting together.
They play the right positions to play together.
Correct. And imagine, oh, by the way, the Knicks just happened to get the #1 overall pick.
Yeah.
And you have Durant, Irving, and Williamson in Madison Square Garden. You think that those guys couldn't make it work for at least 1 year to the tune of 60 wins?
Yeah, I think they could, but you always hear how the NBA needs New York. They've done very well without New York for a lot of years.
True, but that would be a heck of a threesome right out of the gate. I mean, you're winning 60 games right away.
You should.
With a healthy Irving, a healthy Durant, and Zion Williamson.
All right, we got to go. Great job by the D-Man. D-Man can be heard tomorrow night.
Great job by you.
Thank you.
The battle through.
You're on 8 to 11 tomorrow night on the big one, WTAM.
Yes. Come on, come all.
Very good. All right, we'll see you tomorrow with Jeff Shudell of the News Herald. Of all the shows I've ever done, this was the most recent.